title today is about 2,300 Days of Prophecy. I'm sure Bill never heard about this yet, right? Well, 2,300 Prophecy is not actually based on Adventist study. This is a study of the older Protestant church before. Because this study is made of movement of William Miller. Have you heard about William Miller? Who made a movement of Advent in 1844. And 1844, when Jesus didn't come, then they so disappointed. That is a William Miller. William Miller is one of the founder of Adventist Church, but he was not Adventist Church before because the Adventist was not exist in that time. William Miller and all other churches, actually, they joined together and they waited for the second coming of Jesus Christ when they misunderstood about 2,300 days prophecy. Well, but there was just a little mistake. And one thing is assured that in that time, no pastor were able to point out what was wrong. Funny, right? William Miller was not a pastor even. He was just a church member of Baptist church. So, even we study here about the future again, if that is based on the Bible, then we have also right to understand the Bible. It depends on how we study it. The Bible should be interpreted by the Bible, not my understanding, not your understanding. Okay, can you read it together?
Your way, O God, is in the sanctuary.
Wow. Your way, O God, is in the sanctuary. What does it mean? When we understand the way how God leads the history of the world, when we study the sanctuary, we can understand what is happening. The Bible clearly says that when we understand sanctuary, then we can understand His way, isn't it? His way. Well, up to now, you will not understand much. But let's go to the main point about 2,300 days prophecy. Okay, can you read it?
Then I heard a Holy One speaking, and another Holy One said to that certain one who is speaking, how long will the vision be concerning the daily sacrifices and the transgression of desolation, the giving of both the sanctuary and the host to be trampled underfoot? And he said to me, for 2,300 days, then the sanctuary shall be cleansed.
Yes. There was a 2,300 days of prophecy in Daniel chapter 8, verse 13 and 14. So what is the sanctuary and what is that means the cleansed? This is quite important. And through this study, we understand when Jesus was baptized and what year Jesus crucified. Unfortunately, we have no historical background to prove it. But through the Bible itself, the Bible even says that when Messiah will appear, when Jesus will die, and when the promise for the Israel people, Israelites, will be get over. 2,300 days, according to Bible, one day we consider as what? 1 year. Okay, can you read it?
And when you have completed them, lie again on your right side. Then you shall bear the iniquity in the house of Judah 40 days. I have laid on you a day for each year.
Yes. So God is saying that 40 days, a day for each year. So it meaning to say, one day He will consider as 1 year. This expression is not just coming out once in the Bible. It comes out also in Numbers chapter 14, verse 34. Can you read it?
According to the number of the days in which you spied out the land, 40 days. For each day you shall bear your guilt 1 year, namely 40 years. and you shall know my rejection.
Yes. When Israel people spies the land of Canaan, and when they give very good report together with very bad report, and when they reject to follow the command of the God, God says, you spy in that land for 40 days. Now you are going to in the desert for the 40 years. So God is showing that one day is a 1 year. That is the way we can understand the prophecy. So these two is the key that how we are going to understand about the prophecy. Because when we understand the prophecy, sometimes it comes out as it is a day. But sometimes when it comes to a very long period, we can know that one day we can count it as a 1 year. Okay. So 2,300 days is what? 2,300 years. We can consider that way. Okay. Next. Can you read it?
Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the command to restore and build Jerusalem until Messiah the Prince, there shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall even in troublesome times.
Yes. 7 weeks shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. 7 weeks is 49 days. So how many years? 49 years. So 62 weeks is 7 days. So that is a 434 days, which is a 434 years. When you plus it, how many years? 49 plus 434 is 483 years. Is that clear? But we must understand from what point we need to consider to understand about 2,300 years or the 70 years. Well, it says that anyway, command to restore and build Jerusalem, which is King Artaxerxes, given the order BC 457. So 457 BC, and we need to plus how many years? 483 years. Then it becomes AD 27. So AD 27, it says that what will happen until the Messiah the Prince? There shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again and the wall, even in troublesome time. So what will happen until Messiah the Prince coming out? The going forward of the command to restore and build Jerusalem. So when this decree was claimed on 457, and when we understand about the Messiah will come out, that is AD 27. And AD 27, Jesus, what happened? But something is wrong, isn't it, Bill? What is wrong?
Doesn't equal 0.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. We don't consider 0. That's why it is a 27. Yeah, that's right. So Jesus baptized and started his public work as a Messiah. When? AD 27. So Daniel is a book about BC 600 something, or 500 something. It was written before the time. Okay? And Daniel is saying, accordance of the help of the God, he gave the prophesies when Messiah is coming out. And AD 27, Jesus come out to the public. And he started as a Jesus and the Messiah as his public work. Well, we have a 2,300 years prophecy, which is started 457 BC, decreed to rebuild Jerusalem. And 70 weeks is coming in because 70 weeks is cut from it. So 70 year, but we have 69 weeks, right? 7 weeks and 62 weeks, which is 69 weeks. Then AD 27, Jesus baptized. And 7 year, which is 1 week from 69 and 1, then we can see Jesus baptized. And half of it, Jesus crucified. It was also Jesus' crucifixion, it was also prophesied. And AD 34, Stephen stoned, and the Israel people has no more considered as his only children. And when from the 457 BC, 2,300 years prophecy, when sanctuary be cleansed, they understand sanctuary as a what? As the earth. So they are thinking that earth will be cleansed. That's why AD 1844, they understood that Jesus will come. Do you understand? Okay. You know, BC and AD. If AD 1, there's no zero, the BC. So now is it 2023? The BC is getting bigger number when it goes to the backward. You understand? Okay. So let's just see. Can you read this?
Some of the children of Israel, the priests, the Levites, the singers, the gatekeepers, and the Nethinim came up to Jerusalem in the 7th year of King Artaxerxes.
Yeah. During the time of 7th year King Artaxerxes, and he is keep on saying this in verse 13. This was at verse 7. Can you read it?
I issue a decree that all those of the people of Israel and the priests and Levites in my realm who volunteered to go up to Jerusalem may go with you.
Yes. He says 7th year of King Artaxerxes, he issued a decree that they can what? Rebuild the Jerusalem. Can you read it one more?
And I, even I, Artaxerxes, the king, issue a decree to all the treasurers who are in the region beyond the river, that whatever Ezra, the priest, the scribe, and the law of the God of heaven may require of you, let it be done diligently.
Yes. So we understand through the Bible alone that 7th year of King Artaxerxes, he issued a decree to rebuild the Jerusalem. Well, this King Artaxerxes is coming out in the history. We need to find in the encyclopedia if he is really true. Yes, he is the king of Persia. When Daniel was written time of the Babylon, before Babylon fall, the God already let what will happen and when it will be happen. Other sources I see in the Wikipedia, in a free encyclopedia, it was written here very clearly that he was the king BC 465 to 424. So is it very clear? If he started his mission from 465 and when it plus 7th year, because Persian, when I started, this year is they consider as a beginning year. So they don't consider first year, second year, third year. That is the counting of the Persian. So how they count it? After 1 year, after beginning year, the first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year. So BC 465 plus, we should 1 plus 7, 7th year. So that will become BC 457. Do you understand? So how he did about the decree here? 458, but we need to count it one more, which is a beginning year. So why BC 458? Actually, in many ways we can study. Abib is the first month of Jews. It starts from the March to April. Solar, which is the 7th month, is October. 7th October in solar after Babylon. So many ways we can interpret, even we do not know the custom of Persian, we can come out still 457 BC as a Jew calendar too. Okay. So 458 BC autumn starts until 457 BC autumn. So we understand that 457 is a very right in the custom that we consider that decree was claimed. Because in encyclopedia it says that Artaxerxes started his mission 465. Okay? So, can you read this? 7
70 weeks are determined for your people and for your holy city, to finish the transgression, to make an end of sins, to make reconciliation for iniquity, to bring in everlasting righteousness, to seal up vision and prophecy, and to anoint the most holy.
Okay, the second one.
Then he shall confirm a covenant with many for 1 week. But in the middle of the week he shall bring an end to sacrifice and offering. And on the wing of abominations shall be one who makes desolate, even until the consummation, which is determined, is poured out on the desolate.
Well, we can see two words, which is a determined here, and there also determined, right? Determined, meaning to say it won't be changed. After 70 weeks, for your people, Israel people, and for your holy city, Jerusalem, to finish the transgression, to make an end of sins, to make this conciliation of iniquity, to bring an everlasting righteousness. And there actually, as the people of Israel, and that 70 weeks are determined. So, this means like this. 70 weeks, what happened? The end of the people of Jerusalem, and this is the Israeli people, their mission will be complete. But we need to focus for the second verse more. What does it say? Then he shall come from a covenant with the many 1 week, for 1 week. But in the middle of the week, 1 week is how many days? 7 days. 7 days is how many years? 7 years. Half of that is how many years?
3.5.
3.5 years. How many years Jesus served in the world? 3.5 years. 3.5 years, what happened? And to sacrifice and offering. You remember the verse? AD 31, when Jesus crucified, what happened in the sanctuary? The veil between most holy place and holy place, the veil top to down, it was split. Do you understand? So no more sacrifice is required. Why? Jesus died on AD 31. This is the 3.5 days, which is a 3.5 year. So Bible, from the beginning, Bible is showing when Jesus will come as a Messiah, and it shows that when Jesus will be crucified. And 34, when officially they stone the Stephen and officially they deny about the Jesus. The mission for the Israel people was end at the end of the 70 weeks, which was determined. Do you understand? And let's go to the next verse.
And Jesus cried out again with a loud voice, and yielded up his spirit. Then behold, the veil of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom, and the earth quaked, and the rocks were split.
Yes. So in the time of this, AD 31, when he died, the veil was split from top to down. And it says that in the middle of the week, he shall bring an end to sacrifice and offering. The Bible is clear. Even Jesus come before, it was determined that when these things will be end up. Have you heard like this before, Bill? Not yet, right? It is not our just faith that I believe you, I believe you, I believe you. We don't do that, actually. We study the Bible, and Bible, more than anything, it shows the truth. Just to imagine, Ezra and the Daniel was not the same age they lived together. Ezra actually, he come later after Daniel died. Why? Ezra is the person time of Artaxerxes. But Daniel is a person, during the Artaxerxes, he was actually back out. So, we understand that Daniel and Ezra is a different person, but when we see the words together and study together, they are showing just the one thing, that when Jesus will die, and when it will be start, and all the words, accordance of the Bible, we can compute when Jesus will come and die. Great, isn't it? That's why some people was expecting the Messiah to come during the time of Jesus. Okay, let's go to 2,300 days of prophecy. Can you read it?
And he said to me, for 2,300 days, then the sanctuary shall be cleansed.
Yes. And when they understand that, wow, really? 70 weeks, starting which is a BC 457, 70 weeks, Stephen really stoned. Half of it, which is AD 31, Jesus crucified. And AD 27, Jesus was baptized. So 2,300 years, then what? The sanctuary will be cleansed. Then Jesus will come. And they understood that as Jesus will come, 1844. That is the reason why the people in the time, American people, and even European people, after it was a time of the harvesting, because that was October 22. But they didn't harvest. Why? They said, Jesus will come. I don't need to harvest anymore. So they didn't even harvest the things. Why? Because they were so sure that Jesus will come 1844. Well, we need to study more about for 2,300 days, which is a 2,300 years prophecy. When 1844, when everybody said, something is wrong with the Bible, although they checked the date, although they understand that there was no error. When Jesus didn't come, they become so disappointed. And the people who say that maybe we misunderstood, and they open the Bible, and they notice that there is sanctuary even in the heaven. So, 1844, they have great disappointment. But 1863, which is about 19 years later, the Seventh-day Adventists officially start as a church. So if somebody says that 1844, William Miller is the Adventist, yes, he became Adventist later. Adventist is the one who moved this movement. No, it's not. Because it was done by the Protestant church. I hope, Bill, you will understand for this a little more. And every time from now on, we will study about the prophecy more. Okay? So that with the Bible and compare with the history, we will see if this is really happened as it was written in the Bible. Because without that understanding, you cannot give your trust. But once you study, then you can give your trust. Let's pray.